builders, parents, and collectors. On this episode of the Creation Evaluation Station, I will be evaluating this little guy here. It is the Gamers Market. Before I get into it any further, just want to let new viewers know that I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do reviews and discussions of other creative works such as movies, video games, and animation. So, because these are in-depth reviews, they can be on the long side, although this is a smaller set, shouldn't be too long. But there are timestamps embedded down here in the red bar or down in the description that you can use to jump around to your favorite part or for you to use as bookmarks to come back to at a later date. You have more time. So, let's take a closer look at that. And this is a bit misleading. It's got some glow effects on some of these images, and it doesn't really glow in the dark. But yeah, tons of figures and a lot of cool looking parts. Overall, it's probably not going to be one of my favorite sets from this wave or whatever, because it's basically just a bunch of buildings with a bunch of figures. Not saying it's absolutely terrible, because you get awesome parts and some awesome looking characters, but you know, not much of it in the way of interesting build. I think, who knows? But anyways, getting down to the details of this, it is set number 71708, and it's for ages 7 and up, and it has 208 pieces, and originally retailed for $29.99, and it is no longer available, but it was released in January of 2020. So, this is going to be a little bit interesting. We're going to get to see some cool parts, I hope. So let's go open her up and check it out. Here we have the contents of the box. And we have a nice booklet. It's not too thick. And a sticker sheet that's got way too many stickers on it, as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah. We have a bag 1, bag 2, and bag 3. Thought there'd only be 2 bags, but there's 3. But none of them really look like they have really tons of pieces in them. This is bag 1, and like I said, there's going to be a bunch of crazy, unique pieces in here. We got this big square tile here in green. That's pretty cool. Don't know if it's super rare, but we got a pink round brick, transparent pink round brick. We have tons of swords. We have these 2 rods in transparent neon orange. We have 3 different figures in here, which I figure with so many figures, there's got to be at least 2 or 3 figures in each one. We have these armor pieces. I think they're armor pieces. They look different. It'd be interesting. We got a transparent pink sword, and we also have these little status bars, which is unique for this, kind of like your status bars in a video game. They're printed on transparent orange. We got one of these controller pieces in black and red, a bunch of microphone pieces, but I don't think these are accessories because there's a lot of red pieces in here that are probably used for some kind of decorative purpose. We also have transparent orange blades, arrowheads, not quite sure what you want to call them, and some transparent clear pieces. One's a 1 by brick, 1 by 1 round brick, and one's a saucer piece. And a couple other odds and ends in here. And that's it. Definitely some interesting pieces though. Here is bag 2, and we're starting off strong here. We've got a weapons pack in transparent yellow. This is awesome. I don't know how much of this will actually be used for this set, but once again, really awesome pieces in here. We got some of these old, like, Nexo Knight shields. Old. I don't know why I call them old, but they're older. We got this transparent yellow giant shuriken piece, which is awesome. And some other building stuff, you know, bricks and tiles, or plates and stuff. We have a gear piece. I don't know what that's going to be used for. We've got another 3 figures and tons of katanas in different colors again. And another controller, this time in white and black. Golden dragon handle. We got a transparent yellow chain, transparent clear dots with a rod end. I don't know what to call those. We got another status bar, this time green, or in transparent yellow, not green. Got a little satchel here for one of the characters. Interesting parts over there for them. Some other small pieces, and that's bag 2. One more to go. Here we have the last bag, and even this one has got some interesting parts. We have this thing, which I've never seen this before. I mean, essentially it's a 2x2 round brick, a round plate, but then it's got these brackets coming off it as well. Very interesting, I've never seen it before. And then we got all our characters, another 3 figures, I think. Lots of accessories, pickaxes, hats of all kind, mustache, air breather unit. Got some plates, a ladder, bunch of lightsaber hilts, and other parts as well here. Got a transparent orange piece and coral pieces, 1x1 or 2 tile, and the curved tiles as well. Coral's an interesting color. Personally, I've always called it peach, but yeah, it's coral. And that's really it. There's not a lot of pieces in this last bag either. Here we have leftover parts here, and we got a lot of good stuff. We got plenty of katanas in different colors. We have this transparent orange blade, whatever kind you want to call it there, and we've got lots of lightsaber hilts. You can plug them into the little blade and have yourself a little knife thing going on. You got extra throwing stars. Yeah, three different colors. Missed that one. 3 different colors of lightsaber hilts. We also got an extra mustache and an extra air breather. And we also have a transparent clear part here left over as well. Plus the usual other things. Oh, that's actually garbage. That's from the other throwing star. Got mixed in there. But yeah, not too much left over, but a lot of good stuff just the same. We have a lot of figures to go over. This is little over half of them. We have 9 in total. But let's get started with this. We've got our bad guys here, which there aren't actually too many. There's more good guys than bad guys. I guess they're good guys. Maybe they're just neutral. I don't know too much about all these characters. But these 2 here, with the red above them, are definitely bad guys. Hence the red, the orangish red neon status bars. And the first one there is Rishi, and the second one is Red Visor. Like I said, I don't know too much about them. Also, at least it appears by pictures on the box that this is Avatar Harumi, and she's also a bad guy. Very much reminds me of Kill Bill with the yellow jumpsuit and the sword and the long hair. I think she has a redemption arc later on in the story. I don't know too much about this stuff, the characters, unfortunately. But yeah, and then the last 2 here, I believe, are neutral or good characters. Not sure which. We have Okino and then Scott. Very simple name compared to everybody else. Scott. And Scott looks like a ghost. So, well, let's just take a quick look at them. There's definitely some interesting things going on here with their gear. Like, I like these. I love these little status bar pieces. These are great. Definitely, we've seen this guy's mold here for his head in another, in the previous set I did. So this is not the same character because it's a different color, but it's nice to get different versions of it. I believe it is dual molded in the black and the pink. The hair tuft here is a separate piece, but the visor is part of the same piece. So I believe that is dual molded, and then the actual eye slot there for the visor, I think, is painted on. That's why it's a different colored paint. But he's got interesting looking weapon there. He's got a remote controller there, video game controller with the 2 blades on each end. That's a pretty neat weapon. And then you've got what was it again? Red visor. And he's doesn't have too much interesting going on. He's got the visor that he's named after in the trans orange. I think this is actually a character that's been in before, and he literally does have a red visor. In this case, it's orange for the game mode. I'm not sure which, but we'll take a closer look at the prints. I'm just pretty much talking about their gear and stuff. We got a nice little satchel here for this guy, and this is a nice hoodie with a hat here for Scott. And then he's got one of the weapons from the weapons pack in here, which I think, yeah, almost all of those got used up. There wasn't any in the leftovers, unfortunately. But well, we'll talk about that just a little bit later. Let's get these stripped down so we can take a closer look at what's going on underneath without all the stuff in the way. We've removed all their gear and can check out their prints and stuff a lot better, and their heads. Now this guy, he does not have a regular head underneath it. This is all one solid piece. So this is his head. As you can see there, that's where the hair piece goes in. There's a little hollow stud up there. Pretty much like any other minifig, actually. Head. And his chest, torso, and legs are printed really nice. Now, nobody in here has side printing on the arms or the legs or dual molded legs, but there's still some really great prints in here. This first guy's a good example. Got some silver and stuff on all over it, but there's other things here. I love the little skull there, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a drink or some kind of vial of something else. And then you have the red visor here guy, and he's kind of creepy looking at that face. Look at that. And then besides that, it's got what looks like some kind of robes going on there. It's really nicely detailed. Not too much metallic on this guy, although there is a little bit on the legs. I like the 404 symbol there, which, if you don't know, means an error when you're on the internet. And you got, what's her name again? Harunabi? I don't have it pronounced right. Harumi here. It's a nice tracksuit. Does have, you know, some printing on the legs there. Looks good. What else going on? She's got like the red face. I've seen the character before. It's supposed to be like war paint or a scar, maybe even. And you have this fellow who I've never seen or heard of before. Either of these last two characters, I don't know. What was this guy's name again? Okino. Yeah, this Okino character, don't know who he is. Got white robe or top there going on. Then we have Scott over here, and he's pretty cool looking. Print on his chest there. Legs look good too. He's got the mask there on his face. He's trying to be a ninja. But there, on the other side, we see him without the mask. And he's quite jovial there. This guy, Okino, also got a second face. Not too much difference. there's some difference there, but not a lot between the front and the back. And then Haruna here with a very somber face. And there we have the red visor again. He doesn't have a second face, he just has printing back there. Kind of a mysterious character. There's the 404 again on his back as well. And that's nice printing there back. And here's, oh, what is these names? Too many names, too many figures. Richie. And he's got some more nice printing there on the back. Some kind of container or buckle there on the one corner. His necklace there. Nothing too amazing there. Obviously no reverse printing, so it's a totally different type of style ahead. But yeah, that's wave one of our figures. Here are our ninjas from this wave. Although we really only have one ninja that is dressed up in the new ninja gear. The other ones are avatar figures, I guess, as they're called here. We have Digi J. Then we have Avatar Pink Zane. Why is he pink? I don't know. Did he get his clothes washed with the Kai's uniform? I don't know. I'm just guessing here. And we have Avatar Cole and Avatar Nia. And I like both of these. Nia, with her water powers, she's dressed up like a scuba diver. And then you have Cole here, who's dressed up like a miner, which makes sense with his earth powers. He's also a red shirt, and if you know anything about red shirts from Star Trek, they're the first to die. And like, oh no, Cole's going to die. Wait a minute. Cole already sort of died. He became a ghost anyways, right? So maybe it's appropriate. I don't know. I'm just making this story up as I go along. But yeah, Jay here. As I said, this is the Digi J, the actual new uniform for the ninjas in this video game, and he's got his status bar there in yellow, so we know he's the good guys, unlike the orangish red ones that we had with the bad guys. He's got really cool looking weapon here, made with the controller right there, and the one of the weapon packs pieces, and then there's awesome transparent yellow chain. We'll strip them down and take a closer look at their prints as well. And there's Zane. He's got his throwing stars like he always has. Why pink? I don't know why pink. Cole is dressed as a miner, and he's got his two pickaxes there and that crazy mustache, which I find funny. These are definitely some funnier characters in this set here. And then we have Nia here in her scuba outfit with her whatever they're called, harpoon gun. That's what that is. So nothing too interesting there. This guy's armor is the same as the bad guy's armor, only it's white. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same. And they do have they have room for two swords on the back and a hole here to put the post for the sign. So that's kind of nice. So let's strip them down. Here we have them stripped down of all their extra gear, and we can take a closer look at their prints and stuff. We got Digi J here, and it looks pretty cool, and I like the uneven color scheme. I wouldn't want them to do this all the time, but it is nice once in a while to have a little bit different design for their clothing. And he's got his mask there for his digital vision. I don't even know why they have it like that, but it looks cool, especially with the hood on there, as we saw already. And then here's Zane here in his pink costume. I don't know why, but there he is. Does have some nice detail on it. Got Cole here in his plaid red shirt, ready to go mining, I guess. You know, I thought that's what lumberjacks wore, but I guess miners can wear that as well. And then Nia here in her scuba suit, which looks pretty well detailed. Why does Nia always get the really nice detailed clothing? I don't know, but she looks good in that. And moving on to their backs, we got second faces. For once, Zane has a double face, and look at that smile! Zane's finally got a second face, and he's grinning from ear to ear because of it. Got Nia here and her frown. Cole's smiling pretty nicely, and Jay here is also smiling pretty good. I like the pattern on the back of that. I mean, the front's not bad, but look at the back there with the metallic. That looks really cool. And Zane's got some straps back there. Nothing too fancy. Got the continued plaid, and her wetsuit looks about the same. What do you expect from the back? The zipper going up. So, not bad looking figures all around. We've got everything put together. We've looked at all the figures, which is, as you can see, most of the set is figures. So we're going to push them aside for now. Except for that, that's not a figure. And this is what we're left with. So we'll take a little closer look at all this. We'll start with the small stuff, which is this little build here. A nice little build for a floating, because it is supposed to be floating. That's why it's clear here on the bottom. Stand for your MacGuffin, your special sword, the key sword, or whatever these are called. I think that's pretty neat. Comes with in a pink little floaty box. This is the entryway. Basically, you got a nice torii gate here built in, which is very nice and cool, but definitely very cyberpunky as well. I'd like the aesthetic for this wave. I unfortunately don't have too many. This is pretty much all I have for in the way of buildings. There was the one kind of castle-y type set. Wasn't a full-on castle. Unfortunately, I did not get that. Now this is supposed to be a billboard with advertising the market here. Big old sticker. I did not put it on. It's a textured tile, and it's a unique color. That's one reason why I don't like putting stickers on things. I wouldn't want to get rid of this piece and do anything else with it. So it's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. It looks like a nice torii gate. Makes sense. And the Ninjago world, even though this is the video game Ninjago world. Then we have this over here with all our neon yellow weapons. And it's got a big old giant shuriken, which is kind of cool, but you could use that, pretend that's a sign. I mean, maybe it's a windmill that powers all of it, but probably not. There was some neat design here. You know, these are on hinges here. They come out, so you can have these at different angles to show them off. It's your little market here. This was a neat little build here for these like cupboards that you can open up. There's not really a lot of space in there, but I found this rather interesting. The way they did this with this. It's not a tile. It's actually a sign piece, and then those close up around it. Pretty neat, I thought. Oh, and then on the back side here, we have a whole bunch of swords. So yeah, you had a bunch of extras that were quote-unquote extras that weren't, but then you have all these two that aren't really being used and can be given to other characters. I mean, that goes for any of these weapons, even the ones on the front here. We also have a golden dragon hilt sword too, which I think that's kind of cool. Using the weapons pack, and this is where most of the pieces from the weapons pack went to, was this build right here. But yeah, I mean, you can use these weapons for anybody. This is supposed to be a market where you come and buy, you know, gear and stuff. And then over here we have the hat shop, where you can get different hats, including a knight's helmet, sailor hat, helmet, top hat, cowboy hat, straw hat. It's pretty neat. I like all of these. And this was a really interesting build. because to build the structure, it's basically a ladder, and it's attached on the hinges here, but then you have hands here to hold it in place. I found that just an interesting structure. We do have another sign here and here that had stickers on it. I didn't really put the stickers on it. It's time to give this final eval, but first my overall thoughts. Like I said, this is not my favorite set. It doesn't have any vehicles or creatures, dragons, mechs, anything like that. Not to say I don't like it though. It's just not my favorite. I do like it because it's got a lot of great figures in it, and it's got a lot of extra weapons and parts. You can arm them or whatever other characters you have. That's my personal take on it. A lot of other people probably this scene might have showed up in the actual show and like it for that. Big fans of the show will like it for that, and also they probably are getting characters here that they don't normally get. This thing's got 9 figures in it. 9 figures in it. That's a lot, and it's not all your core ninjas or even just your bad guys. So yeah, it may not be exactly my cup of tea, but I don't dislike it. I'm not so keen on the price, which we'll talk about later. Let's move into the final eval, and you can see my breakdown of it there. And granted, this breakdown is my opinion. Yours may be different. So as far as appearance on this thing, all the figures look great. Like them. And the overall appearance of the whole thing is interesting. I mean, it sucks you gotta use stickers for these, but they kind of expected. I haven't here, but I really didn't want to cover up this green piece here either. Tile, it's kind of unusual. So I ended up giving a fun a 10. Really, it's nothing bad looking about this at all. Now, as far as function, it doesn't do much. This thing spins. I would say that is the only functionality in this whole thing. It's not a terrible thing. I mean, what it's supposed to be is a market, so you want a little playset to move your characters around. Now, as for playsets, they oftentimes have hidden things over the place, or trapdoors, or something like that. There's none of that going on here. It's really a little bit too small to have anything like that going on. So, there's nothing bad here. It would weigh the functions. But there's nothing really here that functions much either. So, I just kind of gave it a 9. And moving on to fun. This was fun. These were quick, fun builds, each one of these little buildings, and I was surprised at some of the techniques that were used, which we'll talk about in a moment. But that was it made for fun builds. These were fun builds. Now, narratively, I think we've got way too many good guys, not enough bad guys, so to speak. Although maybe some of these guys are just neutral. I'm not sure. We have the MacGuffin here, which they could be chasing after. But narratively, this doesn't feel like you can do much with that. I mean, you can have fun with the characters shopping around. Oh, look at this weapon or whatever, I suppose. But I felt like that's one thing that's a little weak with this set. And the fact you don't have a vehicle or anything else. Like, there's nothing functioning here as well. So I ended up giving fun a 9. It's not like this is a terrible set. This set definitely has a particular purpose in mind. I'll talk about a little bit when I finish up with this. But as far as techniques, as I mentioned before, there's some really cool things that they did with this. And they didn't have to. These are just really small builds, and they didn't have to do some of the nifty things that they did with it, but they did. And I very much appreciate that. And I gave Technique a 10. There's some unique building design choices that, like I said, did not have to be. These could have been much more basic, but they weren't. And so yeah, 10 for that. Now, take all that, add it up, you get a 38, divide by 4, and the final eval score is going to be a 9.5. So an overall decent set. I don't feel like it's for everybody. Like, well, there's reasons I like it. It's got a lot of weapons and cool pieces in different colors, like this giant shuriken and stuff like that, which I do enjoy, but that's not a reason for me to usually buy a set. And here's where the stinger part is. We're going to talk about the price, original price. It's no longer available. I don't know how much it's going for on the secondary market at the moment, but you're easily probably looking at twice the original price. But the original price was $29.99, 30 bucks, and this had 218 pieces. So you end up doing the math and you end up with like 13 cents per piece, which is on the expensive side. And to be honest, looking at this, $25 feels like a better price. $20 would feel good. $25 would feel eh. $30 really. Ew. But Lego puts more value on these minifigures, and there are a ton of minifigures. And if you actually think about it, in terms of minifigures, you're actually getting a pretty good deal here. Like, if you want to consider each figure $250, you have 9 figures here. Yeah, like $19. So that's $19 worth of figures if you're considering them $250 each, which I don't even think today Lego considers much more than that. And then you have the 3 builds on top of it, which, yeah, maybe $10 worth here in just the builds. Each one could be their own poly bag, which is around $5, $10, $15. So even getting it for 30 bucks isn't terrible. I don't remember if I got it marked down, but I wouldn't overall jump at a set like this just because of figures and parts. This is a mess set when it comes to price. It's really hard to figure out because there's so many minifigures. So let me know what your guys' opinion of this. This is a bit of a strange set with this many figures. I mean, we've had kind of figure sets before, but not quite this many. They've had little tournament sets and stuff. I don't think they've had this many figures in a set before. Well, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already or you're new here, and hit the notification bells to have YouTube let you know when I release new videos. But also check out my links down in the comment or in the description to Facebook and Twitter, because I tend to get my notifications out faster than YouTube on those sites. And there's a Patreon down there if you want to check it out. It's only $1 a month right now, and that's only if you want to, help out more directly. But anything you do is greatly appreciated. We're slowly creeping up to 300 subscribers. We're really close, which I kind of plan on doing a live stream for, though I don't know what I'm going to do quite yet, but I still don't have to make the decision yet because you haven't hit 300. But we're slowly working our way up to 1,000, the big number, big important number, at least for now, unless YouTube changes things. So that's it for me. I'm going to be signing off here at the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key.